All right, so today we're going to dive into how a pretty simple piece of tech can tackle one of the most frustrating problems out there, especially if you're in a workshop or any creative space. It's a really cool story about a student robotics team, a smart partnership, and honestly, a tiny revolution in just getting organized. This all comes from a case study by Parker's 3D Prints. So, to kick things off, let's start with a question. So, what do you think it is? What's the single biggest enemy of a great idea? It's not always a lack of money or a shortage of talent. Sometimes the thing that stops real innovation dead in its tracks is a lot simpler. Yep, it's just plain old clutter. A messy desk, a disorganized workshop. You know that feeling, right? Wasting precious minutes searching for that one tiny component you know is somewhere around here. It absolutely kills your momentum, it drains your energy, and it stands right in the way of actually creating something. Now, to see this chaos in action, let's take a look inside a student robotics workshop. This place should be a hub of pure innovation, but, well, it was facing a serious creativity-killing challenge. Okay, so meet the at-circuit runners. This is a super talented student robotics team, and they have huge ambitions. But their whole workflow was just getting bogged down. They were constantly losing time just hunting for parts. Their tools were a total mess. And look, every single minute they spent searching was a minute they weren't spending building and innovating. And when you're under pressure to get things done fast, that's a problem you absolutely have to solve. So how do you fix a problem like that? Well, in this case, it took a team effort, a partnership that was formed specifically to bring some order to all that chaos. And this is where Parker's 3D Prints comes into the picture. They're a company that's all about supporting student innovation. And when they saw the problem the at-circuit runners were up against, they stepped in to help bring some much-needed structure and clarity to the team's workspace.
And they had the perfect tool for the job. It's a brilliantly simple and, man, a really effective organizational method called the Gridfinity system.
So how does this whole thing work? Just imagine a base plate, kind of like a big waffle grid. Then you can 3D print an almost infinite variety of custom boxes, little bins, and tool holders that all just perfectly click and lock into that grid. It's endlessly customizable and just incredibly efficient. You can see why this system was the perfect solution for them, right? It was totally custom, designed for their specific nuts, bolts, and wrenches. It was efficient, giving every single item a home. It was modular, so they could just rearrange it whenever their projects changed. And the most important part, it was practical. It solved a real, everyday problem that was slowing them down. And the results of putting the system in place? Oh, it was a total transformation. Let's actually look at the incredible before and after here. I mean, the change was just so dramatic. You go from the total chaos of digging through piles of loose parts to perfect order. It created this clean, functional space where every single component is exactly where it needs to be, ready to go at a moment's notice. The team over at Parker's 3D Prints summed it up perfectly. They said the new workshop wasn't just more efficient, it was also clean, functional, and, get this, deeply satisfying to look at. And that feeling of satisfaction, of having a space that works with you instead of against you, that is incredibly powerful for creativity. But look, this story is about way more than just one robotics team. It really points to a much bigger idea about what modern tech, like 3D printing, is really for. So often, we think of 3D printing as just a tool for making final parts or maybe some quick prototypes. But this project, it shows its true potential. It can be used to improve the entire process of how we work. It's not just about building the thing, it's about building a better way to build the thing. So we've seen how a clever system and a 3D printer can literally remove a huge roadblock for an ambitious team. And it really makes you wonder, right? What clutter is slowing you down? What everyday problem in your own life could you print a solution for?